Yes.
Yes,
How
yes.
are we doing? I don't know why there's a guy posting loads of lines in the chat, but I've hidden him anyway. Just look by lines everywhere. People are weird, innit? I have too much time on their hands. How are we all doing? It's you know what, bro? I feel even better than I did this morning. I'm on the up.
Oh, in terms of your recovery?
Yeah, my recovery. Life is on the up, bro.
That's good to hear.
Also, it's sick. I want to give an appreciation in it to the people that message you on Instagram, because I was like, as soon as I seen you say it, I was like, oh no. I was like,
to be fair, I told them.
I know. That's what I mean. I was like, oh no. And I seen it and I was like, better people are going to be messaging me. And then people did message me in it. So I appreciate everyone who messaged me in it. But everything is good. The paracetamol's kicked in. Nah, even better news. I've not been taking any tablets in it. I've been like on the full recovery in it. No tablets for the past 2 days because I took a bit too many. Yeah. But yeah, all good.
That's what happens when you have a subscription to Cougat's office, mate. You know what I mean?
Here at City Extra, right, we have like this direct link with Cougat and that. You know what I mean? City might not do collabs with us, but they give us collabs with Cougat.
Yeah, what Jordan's not told you is he's recovering from his kidney infection, but he now has an ACL. So
that's actually true as well. That is actually true.
Right, let's get into it, guys. We are today going to be reacting to. So we're not actually watching it. Just for those, make sure you've obviously watched the Khaldoon interview. Part 2 has come out today, so we've watched part 2, and basically we've got some sort of talking points that Khaldoon spoke about in the interview that we just want to obviously talk about with you guys and get your opinion, and we'll give you our opinions on some of the main talking points to do with Khaldoon's end of season annual interview. It's always a cracker, you know what I mean? I always like listening to Khaldoon. He comes across as a very sort of relatable person, even though he's got about £5 billion in the bank account. So, but you know, the way
he's well spoken, isn't he?
Yeah, the way he speaks, you know, he doesn't. I feel like that if you was to meet him in the street, yeah, and have a conversation with him, obviously, you know what I mean, providing he's got time, I feel like he wouldn't sort of like look down on you and be like, oh, you're no. I feel like if he had the time, obviously, which he might not have, but I feel like he might.
He'd give you the time of the day and listen to what you're saying, innit?
I personally like him, you know what I mean? Not saying he's done everything right at the football club. Obviously, there has been issues in the past, but, you know, I think that on the whole, he's done a good job, and I like these annual interviews. I like.
You don't see this anywhere else.
No, you don't see this anywhere else, and this is important for the fans. You know what I mean? And to be honest, every football club should have this. I personally believe that anyone running a football club should be doing interviews with the club staff or with outside sources to try and connect with the fans. So I like what Khaldoon's done, and yeah, we've got some main talking points that we want to go through. And of course, if you've got anything that you want us to talk about regards the interview or anything else, really, let us know, and we'll try and get that done. Now, before we get into it, if you've not done so already, we've got 450 people in the stream. Please drop a thumbs up on the stream if you've not done so already. We're currently on 160 likes. Let's see if we can get that up to 200 likes, guys. I need 40 people to drop a thumbs up. Let's get that to 200. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. We're trying to get to 55,000 subscribers, and I can confirm that right now we are 614 subscribers away from 55k. So please subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you want to help support the channel even more, you can do. All you have to do is become an Extra Club member. The link is in the description, or sometimes with the join button below me. You can help support the channel, get a loyalty badge in the chat as well to just show your support, and we really do appreciate all your support. So, yeah, let's get stuck into it then. Obviously, Khaldoon's done his interview, and I want to talk about that I found really quite interesting. I'm not sure how much I believe of this, you know what I mean? Although to some degree, I think it's probably true. And it was Khaldoon. I think this was in part 1 of the interview, because obviously there's 2 parts. And it was how he was speaking about once they'd won the league against Aston Villa, within 48 hours, Khaldoon, Varane, TK and Pep Guardiola were already talking about what the plan is going forward. There's no holiday period. It's not like, job done, guys, you know what I mean, job done, we'll see you in a couple of weeks and then we'll talk about what's going to go on next season or the season after. Within 48 hours, according to Khaldoon, these men were already sat around a table planning what's going to happen next season in terms of, obviously the transfers we probably already spoke about, but maybe final decisions, you know, giving that go-ahead, you know, giving the rubber stamp of approval type thing, maybe even talking about the season after, because something that obviously it happens at this football club is this season does not operate with a one-season view. It operates with a multi-season view, 2, 3, 4, 5 season view maybe in some occasions. So I just think that if there's anything that you need to hear or sort of understand about how this club operates and how Khaldoon and the board operates, I think that's probably the best thing to take away, that within 48 hours of the title win, these guys are already talking about how they're going to improve, how we can move forward. And I just think that is just a sign of winners. And there's no surprise to me that we are the most successful club in the last 10 years. Because when you got people like this, them man are winners, bro. Winners.
Them man. Yeah, no. It's sick. It is sick. It's meant to know that basically that the board is still kind of about moving forward. They're not really just like, do you know what I mean? Oh, we've won the title, buzzing. Like, sit on it. Do you know what I mean? Buzzing. Nah, it's their job, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, Khaldoon and that ain't going to go on a holiday now. Do you know what I mean? Now that season's ended, they're still working in that. Do you know what I mean? They're still trying to progress this club forward and stuff. And the fact that they're already going forward with all this and thinking about next season, planning and that. Do you know what I mean? And then as well for Pep, bro, you got to think he's got to instantly switch to like new tactics and stuff. Obviously, he'll be having a break now, but best believe Pep's probably in Spain or wherever he is now, right now, probably thinking about how he's going to work the team. Mm-hmm. That guy does not shut off from football. And if you've read anyone who's done books about him, any books, Pep books, the people that with him always say like the guy just doesn't shut up about football. You can go to a dinner with Pep, and you'd probably think, oh, he'd probably just relax and chill. Nah, he'd be talking about football because that's all he thinks about all the time. So to go forward and think about that, that's like the biggest mentality of a squad, not even just a squad, the board, everyone. It's the mentality of a football club that you want. You just want your team to win things, and just like it's like a mentality beast, bro, where it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, and you know what? In some ways, this should be expected. This should be expected from football clubs and boards, but unfortunately, and you could say fortunate for City, but unfortunately for football, for the wider game, does this really happen? You know what I mean? You only have to look at some of the other clubs in this league and around Europe to see that clubs are run so poorly, and they get themselves into such bad situations, both financially off the pitch and footballing wise on the pitch, with so the players that they buy and the managers that they get in. You only have to look around Europe, and there's loads of clubs that are in the mud right now. But this is what should be happening. I feel like City right now, the way that they operate the football club, and I'm not talking about the money here, I'm talking about the professionalism of how they run the club. Every single club should be run like that. And it's a mystery to me why not every club's run like that, because at the end of the day, if you want to be a big club, you want to be a big club, you got to act like a big club. There's no time for resting. You know what I mean? You've got to continue to improve, continue to look at ways to change and to evolve and to innovate. And that is exactly what Khaldoon, what Pep Guardiola, what Varane, what TK do. You know what I mean? And they've had this plan from day one. So again, I just think that when he was saying that, it got me sort of thinking about it. And I was like, is it true? Is it not true? And I think it probably is true, but I think that you can take a lot more from that, because it's not just that they had a conversation 48 hours after the title win about next season or whatever. It's the fact that these guys are winners, man. They don't want to rest on their laurels. You know what I mean? They'll be talking about how they can improve next year, what they need, what Pep needs. Maybe Varane and Tiki might be talking about off the field stuff with Khaldoon in terms of like growing the brand or whatever and all that kind of shit, which doesn't really matter to us too much. But if they don't do that, then they maybe not get the funds in, which means that the transfer kit is not there, etc, etc, etc. So there's loads of different pieces to the puzzle, man. And I just think right now they've all got the fingers on the pulse, and it's going well. And like I say, I think Khaldoon, man, I think the guys are top don, and you know, him leading the club.
There's no better chairman in football.
I would go with that.
There's no better chairman in football. We are the best run club. We are the best run club. Do you know what I mean? You can use us as an example. Yes, we've done some wrong. Do you know what I mean? We've done things wrong. Every club does things wrong at times. But you can 100% use us as an example of a way to run as a football club. Mm-hmm. From bottom to top, the academy plays the exact same way the first team plays. Everything seems in unison. Do you know what I mean? The players you have this whole togetherness about the squad. The manager and the board are like mates. Do you know what I mean? They're like basically on the same level, always speaking to each other, make sure everything's going well for everyone, make sure that everyone's happy in that. And do you know what I mean? Then it all comes to a head at Khaldoon and then Sheikh Mansour, innit? So our club is sick. The way it's run, the fact that we have these interviews as a whole is a blessing anyway, because you go support any other club and they ain't doing this. They ain't doing these Khaldoon interviews kind of thing at the end of the year, where they're very open about things. Do you know what I mean? Speaking about what went wrong in the season, what went right in the season, how they're moving forward. It just gives a kind of, it breaks the line between the chairman and the fan. Do you know what I mean? Because he basically is like, as much as being interviewed by someone else, he is speaking to the fans. He's speaking to them because that's what it's for, isn't it? The whole interview is for the fans to see, so that's who he is speaking to. And it's nice that it's mint, and I like that he's kept it up for the past like 5 years or 6 years, however long he's been doing these. It's really, really good, really, really good.
Yeah, I thought when he was talking about that, about focusing on next season and already looking at progression, I just thought that was top mentality, and that's what all the top teams should have. Do they have that? I'm not so sure. That sort of brings us on then to the transfers, and straight away, of course, you know, we've already made 2 transfers. Erling Haaland is through the door, Julian Alvarez is through the door, and we're being linked with Calvin Phillips of Leeds and Cucurella of Brighton. And this sort of brings us on to this topic because, you know, he was asked about transfers, and again, I really, really liked his answer. He talked about the fact that we need to refresh the squad. He said that, and I completely agree. I always say that every year your club needs to refresh your squad. Even if you win the quadruple, you need to let people go and you need to bring players in, because players get stale, mentality gets stale. You always need to refresh the team, and you know, and we've said this for some time now, but unfortunately, some players this summer are going to have to leave, which we won't like. But I think it's all part of the greater good, you know what I mean? And you have to do that. And so, yeah, I really like Khaldoon's interview there. He's not getting dragged into the sort of sentimental situation of keeping players, for, you know, because we like them. You know what I mean? Nah, you keep players because they're performing.
Also, he's not going to give anything away as to who's leaving or anything like that in these interviews. You know what I mean? He's not going to like say, because imagine Khaldoon was like, oh, some players that you love are going to leave. Everyone would be like, wait, what? Like, he don't get himself drawn into it or anything like that, which obviously you don't expect him to. He doesn't reveal, like, any names or anything. I wish he kind of did. Like, it would have been nice for him to just say, yeah, we're after these kind of players. That'd be some good insight. But it's nice to see that even with, obviously, because he speaks about Alvarez and Haaland, but then he does say that there are more players coming through the door. Do you know what I mean? So there are going to be more transfers in this window. It just depends on, obviously, do you know what I mean? Basically, he'd like them by July the 1st. He says that, do you know what I mean? Ideally, he'd like to have all the players done by July the 1st, but it doesn't always work like that. But it's definitely going to be interesting. And obviously, the two that it's highly linked to be is Phillips and Cucurella. They're two there. And obviously, it's more of a waiting situation on who leaves the club and if we have to replace who's leaving. So, i.e. a Raheem Sterling kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I like I say, he did confirm in the interview that we are going to be making more signings. So that is, again, it's a signal of intent. You know what I mean? People can moan about us signing Haaland and Alvarez. We paid like 75 million in transfer fees, if that.
For both.
We've got plenty of firepower left to go and get some more players. Plus, that's just not even taking into players that we've sold, because we've sold players. We sold Ferran Torres and that, you know what I mean? So, you know, I think we've got a lot of money to spend. I don't actually think we're going to end up spending that much money. I think we probably will get a full-back and maybe a midfielder, and that'll probably be the end of the business.
I think so.
But Khaldoon is obviously confirmed there that we are going to be making more signings, so I'm buzzing about that. It'll be interesting and exciting to see who the club decide to bring in. And of course, he has said, as we know, that some players may have to leave because we've got to refresh the squad. So everything again that you want to be hearing, you know what I mean? He's not getting dragged into, oh, the team's sick, we won the league, we did well in the Champions League, blah blah blah. We're not doing too much this summer. It seems like to me he's a football man. He understands football, right? Because he understands that you have to refresh the squad. And of course, with Pep Guardiola and the Spanish lads in Tiki and Ferran there, you know, talking to him, they'll be on to him as well, saying, look, you have to refresh the squad. He knows that. Everyone knows that in the club. And again, it just shows you that these people, who are making these decisions, they're all pulling in the same direction. There's no sort of people, there's no one arguing with each other or giving different views. They're all giving the same views. That's how it comes across. Obviously, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but that's how it comes across, that they're all pulling in the right direction.
Yeah, everything's pulling in the right direction. They might have like differences in players or differences in directions, but they all kind of come to a general agreement together. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't seem to be any toxicity when it comes to anything during transfers or anything like that. And I do think that they give Pep Guardiola a big say in what happens. Do you know what I mean? They basically say to him, what do you want for this squad kind of thing? And he communicates that to Tixie and Fran, and then they go to Khaldoon kind of thing, and it all kind of works. This is what I mean. We work so in unison. Do you know what I mean? The whole club just works so well.
Yeah.
And that's why it puts us like above the rest, I think, in them situations. Not saying that we always get our transfer targets, because, you know what I mean, we don't, innit? We don't always get our transfer. Sometimes we get outpriced. Do you know what I mean? Koulibaly, he got outpriced. Do you know what I mean? He was our main transfer target, but we ended up with Diaz. So you just got to trust in our board to kind of do the bits. Matthew with 179 says, Khaldoon's giving out statues like Ket at a festival. I mean, we seem to have a statue addiction right now, don't we? And obviously, yeah, he did speak about that in part 2, about the fact that more statues are coming. For Summerby, who is it? Summerby, is it Franny Lee, and who's the other one?
Bell.
And Colin Bell, yeah. So I'm not sure what that statue is going to be, or if it's going to be 1 statue, 3 statues. Obviously, we'll have to wait for that one, but it has been commissioned, which is nice. The guy in car with a 449 says, yes, lads, going to watch Zinchenko tomorrow night. Obviously not the main reason I'm going, but come on, Scotland. Oh, yeah, gets to see Zinchenko. Game. It is a big game. It's the qualifier, isn't it?
Yeah, big game.
Unfortunately, James, I think you'll have half the world do you know what I mean, going for Ukraine, innit? So that's just the way things are at the moment, innit? But it's going to be an interesting game. It's a big game for both teams, that. So is it whoever wins that goes to the World Cup? That's a mad game. Is there another one as well? Is there another qual? Is it just that one?
I guess there'll be some more. Yeah,
but, that's mad. That's big.
It's a massive game. Yes, Hamza. Remember for 7 months. If Sterling leaves, who would you ideally like to bring in to replace him? Nah, bro. I'd reject the Sterling deal. I cannot get behind selling Sterling.
What about if Sterling wants to leave? If Sterling says, like, say Real Madrid come in, 55 mil, and Sterling goes, I want to leave.
Don't know. I'll probably say. I don't know, because I don't know. I probably wouldn't sell him, because at the moment I don't know who to. I can't have a team next summer without a right-footed right winger.
Rafael Leao.
I'm not seeing him, so I can't say. Yeah. So unless I know someone who I can think can perform at the level that Sterling can on that right wing, I can't get behind it. And at the moment, I don't know anyone. People saying Leao, I ain't ever seen him. So, you know, it's difficult for me to get behind that deal. So right now, bro, I'm just so against that deal. It's unreal, like unreal, bro.
So I just absolutely love Sterling to just back himself and be in this team, because he wants to be somewhere that's going to be competing, right? And we've just gone and signed one of the world's best strikers. So stay here, compete, help the guy score goals, innit? Yeah. And I think it would be perfect. It would be perfect. And I feel like, right, as a team, we've been done dirty if Sterling leaves. If Sterling leaves, just as we get Ireland, I feel like it's a fully missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity to see the remontada of Raheem Sterling. To see him use his pace, bro. Finally, bro. It's been like 2 years since we last seen the guy sprint.
That's the thing. To me, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. The last 18 months we've seen him play without a striker. We've finally got strikers, and it's like, dust him off. It's just so dumb. If you're going to do that, you should have dusted him off 2 years ago when his price was about 80, 90 million.
Yeah.
Well, now you're going to dust him off for 50 million when he's about to, well, hopefully he's going to get back to them levels, because you got a striker in the middle. I just think it's so dumb, man. I'd be doing everything possible to keep him in there. People talking about Serge Gnabry. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know he's a decent player, but I don't think he can lace Sterling's boots. I really don't. So, me, I don't, you obviously know, I'm so against this deal. It's unreal. Unreal. I'd so much so that I'd say to Sterling, stay for a year and I'll pay you 10 million to leave if you're not going to sign a new deal. Because I think this year is Sterling's year. That's how important I think Sterling's going to be to the team. I would literally, on his way out from his contract, I'd give him a payout and I'd be like, here's 5 or 10 mil.
Thing is, if he wants to leave, though, then I can back selling him. You should never play at the club that doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, but Bernardo didn't want to be here. Look at him this season. So you can keep players at the team that don't want to be here. It depends how much of a nuisance they're going to be. And I don't think Sterling, even if he does want to leave, which isn't even been confirmed, but even if he does want to leave, I don't think Sterling's going to be a guy that's banging on the door saying, get me out of there. You know what I mean? Obviously, if that is the case and that changes things, I think it's probably more along the lines of something like Bernardo, where he's like, oh yeah, if someone wants me and puts in a good fee, yeah, I want to get off. You know what I mean? So, yeah, for me, I can't, not for me, man.
Wait, no, I'm behind it. Daps, yes, Daps. How you doing, mate? He says, yes, boys, glad to see you bounce back, Jaws. Yeah, I appreciate that, mate, innit? I'm back. It's a remontada season, innit? Just like Sterling's gonna have next year. But yeah, I am back. Legan Cow, again with the 449, says the winner plays Wales on Sunday for the World Cup place.
Oh, is that what happens?
That's big, that.
I say, is that not a bit much? Is that not a bit much? So you've gone through a whole group or something. I don't know how this works, but I guess you've gone through a whole group of matches, to try and qualify. You didn't qualify. You then play a qualifying match where if you win, you still don't qualify, which then puts you in a match.
In a final.
Which is a qualifying match where if you win, you're then in the World Cup.
And if you don't win that, you still don't qualify.
How do you
so
know what?
You just
throw the names in the hat and just pick one out. You know what I mean? There's a lot of nonsense. Yes, James again with a super chat. Thanks a lot for that, bro. I appreciate that. Pep Guardiola with a 179 says the winner face Wales in the playoff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you said the same thing. That's why it confused me. Thanks a lot, Pep Guardiola. Appreciate your super chat. RCG with a 2 says the same thing. The winner plays. 3 people all just said the same super chat. We get it, innit? We fucking know now. There's a match on Sunday.
Ahmed with a 79. Yes. The other qualifier is Australia versus UAE. At least that's different.
I know, yeah.
That's good information. That I didn't know this. These are the last qualifiers for the World Cup. Right? Okay. These are all the delayed ones, isn't it? And Raheem with the $2 says, I heard PSG looking to sell Neymar. Thoughts? Yeah. I see that. They've just given Mbappe a mega contract, so they're probably thinking, we're going to recoup some cash. Or maybe Mbappe's like, I don't want him at the club anymore. I'm the owner. Get rid of him.
Yeah. Good luck selling him.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Because they won't get what they want for him. They won't get what they want, so it's a weird one. I don't see us going for him either.
Nah, not at all. Right, okay, next up on the agenda for the Khaldoon interview, guys. And something that is fairly obvious to most City fans, but to the outside footballing community, they believe that they know exactly why Pep Guardiola was brought in. They feel like they were in the boardroom when the contracts were signed. But this is Khaldoon speaking about Pep Guardiola pressure and speaking about how much pressure Pep Guardiola is under to win the Champions League. And it's so abundantly clear that Pep Guardiola is in no more pressure to win the Champions League than he is under pressure to win the Premier League. And this is what I've been saying for donkey's years. Yet for some reason, the wider footballing community is constantly like, Pep Guardiola's brought in to win the Champions League and he's not done it. No, he was not brought in to win the Champions League. Because if he was brought in to win the Champions League, he would no longer be a Manchester City manager. Facts. Because he's not won it in, 6 years?
It's funny, because if you want, anytime anything like this comes out, you can see how frustrating it is as a fan.
Just done.
Because as City fans, we all know that Pep Guardiola was not brought into his football club to win the Champions League. That is not it. The football club was basically moulded to be a Pep Guardiola side. Do you know what I mean? It was basically all set. We had the same board as when he was at Barca. It was all set for Pep Guardiola to come to his football club, right? No way did they go, right, Pep, here you go. Welcome to Manchester City. By the way, you're only here to win the Champions League. Premier League, nah, fuck it. I'm not really bothered about that. You don't have to win that. Just win the Champions League. And if you don't, you're out the door. That's not a thing. This did not exist. The club wants to compete at every level. That's the thing. We want to compete in all competitions and try and win as many trophies as possible. The key word there is try, because you can't win everything forever. And obviously we've not won the Champions League yet. And Pep has done some questionable things. But at the same time, the board know this. Do you know what I mean? The board know. They sit down with Pep after every season and speak to him and say, what do you think went wrong? What do you think went right? Not just, you were brought in to win the Champions League and you've still not done it. Do you know That is never a thing that has ever been said to Pep Guardiola once, because it's not. And it's unnecessary pressure from the board if that's the case, and he wouldn't be at his football club. Whether that is get sacked or he'd leave because he'd be like, yeah, nah, I'm not having this.
Yeah, it's
fake, bro. It's made up in the media to drive, to force this thing.
I'm not being funny as well. If pundits and that are saying it, or content creators, for me, I think it's lazy comments. I think it's lazy. If you're saying that as a pundit or a YouTuber or a podcaster, I think you're being lazy. Because basically, you're looking at what's gone on and going, oh, he's done everything apart from win the Champions League. Oh, I'd say he never won the Champions League. He was brought in specifically to win the Champions League. Pep Guardiola's won 2 Champions Leagues in his whole career as a manager, and both times he had the best team that I've ever seen in Barcelona with Lionel Messi. So it's not like he's like a Champions League masterclass. Guy went to Bayern Munich, the team that had just won the Champions League, didn't win the Champions League there either. So why would you get Pep Guardiola? If Pep Guardiola, right, if you wanted to win the Champions League and that was your sole objective, why do you think Pep Guardiola ain't this Champions League Don manager who's won loads of Champions Leagues? He's won 2. He's not won one since 2011, and the only times he won it, he had probably the best club football team that you've ever seen in your life. So this is just such a myth. Bro, I think it's lazy for people, bro.
Flip it the other way, right? If we'd only won what Klopp's won at Liverpool, right? But we had won a Champions League. Do you know what I mean? But we'd only won what Klopp's won at Liverpool. All the media would just be saying, Pep is a failure. He's not won enough at Manchester City to warrant him being there. Do you know what I mean? They just, no matter what it is, they will try to dampen it. They'll just try and put a negative spin on the situation.
I just think it's just lazy, man. I think it's lazy. You know what I mean? If you actually deep it hard, I believe what Pep Guardiola was brought in to do was to get Manchester City to compete for trophies every single year.
That's what I said, innit? For every single trophy, not just one.
Yeah.
All of them.
Constantly get into the semi-finals.
Constantly. Every single trophy we go for.
Rather than just get into a semi-final once under Pellegrini, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what we brought in. What he was brought in to do was to get us to consistently compete at the top level, because if you do that, and I've said this before, if you go off the odds, at some point you're going to win it, and at some point we will win the Champions League.
Yeah, at some point we will win it. We will win it, but we're getting close, isn't it? Simon Jordan is the main culprit for this kind of thing. He says it all the time. You mentioned City, and the guy goes, "I'm not on Champions League." Do you know what I mean? That's his first thing to come out of his mouth as soon as you mention City every single time.
Because the only thing he can say, and again, it's lazy. Pep Guardiola has been an incredible success at Manchester City, an incredible success. If you just think that the Champions League is the be-all and end-all, which I certainly do not, then yeah, you might look at it and go, well, he's disappointed me. But if that's how you want to look at it, and by the way, if you want to look at it like that, we have plenty of fans who watch the channel who they view the Champions League as like the pinnacle, and that's absolutely fine. So for them, I can see why they might be a bit disappointed. If you're looking at it as a football situation and you support Manchester City and you just want to see City win as many trophies as possible, then Pep Guardiola has been absolutely nothing but an incredible success. And again, I just think at some point that will come. I like him saying that he's not under any serious pressure to win the Champions League. Of course, there's pressure. We've never won the Champions League in our history, as people remind us every single stream. But at some point, we're going to win it. Yeah? And Khaldoon, I think, knows that. The team know that. And Pep Guardiola knows that. Just got to get... Things has got to fall right into place, man. And at some point, it will happen. But if you pile pressure on a manager, not just Pep, any manager, you know... It's highly likely, in my opinion, that they're probably going to fail, because if you put that much... It's already hard enough managing a team as it is in this league, and if you put even more pressure on a manager to deliver the goods, which, you know, we've seen so many times over the last 10, 12 years in the Champions League, the amount of times that we've been knocked out of the Champions League for dodgy decisions, whether it's penalties not given, goals scored against us, just a little bit of luck, just not falling for us or whatever. Champions League's all about luck, you know what I mean? It's all about luck, in my opinion, and yeah, we've just not had that little bit of luck in the Champions League, but it'll come.
Yeah, I do think it'll come. Where I mean, we do seem to be allergic to it at the moment, but do you know what I mean? Maybe we'll get some remedy for that soon. Pep Guardiola with a 449 says Champions League final is in Turkey next season. City vs Spurs incoming. And loads of cold emojis. Yeah, people are rating Spurs right now. They've just signed Perisic, haven't they?
Yeah, I think Spurs are going to be big. I don't think there'll be title challenges, but I think they'll basically replace Chelsea. I think Chelsea might fall off next season. I really do. I think they'll fall off. I think Liverpool are in danger of falling off. Like I say, I think Liverpool need to reinvent their team. I think they need to go and get a striker, in my opinion. I think they're in danger of falling off a little bit. But I think Chelsea will fall off, and I think Spurs next season, I think they'll finish second or third. I really do. And I think there'll be a massive, massive sort of group again for top four. Maybe even better than last year. Last year being this season. I think there's going to be like 4 or 5 teams all in it.
This season was mad.
Yeah, I think next season could be even madder. I really do. I think it's going to be a madness.
Yeah.
Guys, if you've not done so already, please drop a like on the stream. We're currently on 313 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 350, man. So, yeah, we just need, 37 people. Drop a thumbs up on the stream. Get us to 350. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Contract talk. Pep Guardiola, this is the one downside to Pep Guardiola as a manager. He never really signs long contracts.
The guy don't commit.
Yeah, and yet again, we're in a situation where he's got 1 year left on his
Bro, how have we got here again already?
It's so quick.
Bro, remember when he signed the extension? I was like, yes, we've got him. Do you know what I mean? He's tied down for ages.
Yeah.
And now we're back here again.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left on his contract. The impression that I got, I don't know what you think about this, but the impression that I got from Khaldoon in that interview was that basically we're just waiting for Pep to say what he wants, because he said basically they're going to move at the framework of Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, because this is the thing, innit, with Pep. The board very much want to keep him happy, but also at the same time, Pep knows that he can't be too lenient with the situation and kind of fuck the club over by not giving us time to get a replacement in. I think he will give the club notice if he isn't intended on doing it. I personally think he will sign an extension. I think Erling Haaland wouldn't have come to the football club had he not. I think that was a major factor in the thing, Pep being there whilst Erling Haaland is there. I think he will sign an extension. When that gets announced is something else. Whether or not it is a thing is something else, and how long it is for is also something else, because Pep might just go, yeah, I'll sign an extra a year contract extension and take it year by year kind of thing, because he's been at this football club now the longest he's ever been at a football club ever. He's 7 years in now, or he's going into his 7th year, I can't remember which one it is, which is incredible for Pep. But the thing is, and he said it before, the way that he's speaking at the moment, everything that's coming out of Pep Guardiola's side is very much towards he stays. The guy seems chill, has no pressure. Do you know what I mean? Everything just seems to be going right. He has everything he wants for a football club right here. Is at City. He's not going to get it better anywhere else. Nowhere else he'll get it better. He won't get the time of day anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? This whole Champions League thing, bro. If he was at PSG, they probably would have sacked him.
Yeah. It's one of them. I was thinking about this. Why Pep is so good is that he's so intense, and I actually think that by having his contract run down, it sort of amplifies that for him, because he's like, oh shit, my contract's running down. You know what I mean? And he clearly loves managing City, he clearly loves living in Manchester and cutting about, you know what I mean? And obviously he's working with his mates. He's got a great squad of players who all respect him, which I don't think he fully had at Bayern Munich. I think there was issues there with the players, clearly, because what came out. I think with the fans as well, I don't think the Bayern Munich fans particularly connected with him, because they basically told him to F off once he left. He doesn't have that at City. The fans love him, the staff love him, the players love him, the board love him, the owner, everyone loves this guy. He's literally not going to have it better anywhere else in the world than Man City. So I think that by having this sort of, and I think he knows that, by the way. I think he knows that. So I think by having his contract run down, I think it continually motivates him, because he knows that he's not going to get better than this. And I think it motivates him to continue to innovate, to continue to evolve the team and rebuild and try and break down teams when they're sat on the edge of the box. I think it's a good idea, actually, that they continue to sign short contracts. Maybe a 2-year deal now and again would be nice.
2 year, but I beg a 2 year. No, I mean a 3-year deal is not long, bro. I beg a 3. I'm on my knees for Pep to sign a 3-year deal. That'd take him to 10 as well, bro.
I know. That would actually be
a 3-year extension, takes him to 10.
It was so funny as well because when we first signed, all fans were like, "Oh, you'll only have him for 3 years, and he'll be off." And it's just like you said when Sheikh Mansour bought us, he said, "Oh, you'll get off when he gets bored or something." He's now been here over a decade, and he's loving it. Pep's loving it. All our players don't leave. You know what I mean? None of our players don't leave. They all like staying. Other than other clubs, they all get off. You know what I mean? That's one of our reasons why we don't have a particularly good net spend. It's because all our players don't want to leave. You know what I mean? So. It's clearly a mint place to be. No one complains about it, apart from Nolito.
Nolito and his grey kid.
And it'd be good to get that contract signed. Now, by all accounts, and if you listen to rumours and people in the know, this Pep Guardiola contract is pretty much already done. I think that they're just waiting on some. I don't know what it'll be, but yeah, the view that I got from the Khaldoon interview was that it's certainly on the agenda. They're very happy to offer him a new deal. However, they're going at Pep's pace. They're happy just to wait. Pep says, "I don't want to sign it right now. I want to wait a couple of months."
Maybe they're standing off a bit and just be like, "If we just let him chill, he might sign an extra year." You know what I mean? If we just let him make it look like it's his own idea. Ali, yes, Ali with the 179 says, I think you guys should replace Big Steve in the Big Six. Obviously, Big Steve has left the Big Six now, which is sad. I watched it last night. Skull Thuggery did an absolute madness with the videos as well. I think the Big Six have actually uploaded the highlights thing of Big Steve like as a separate thing, and it's well funny. So if you've not seen that, go watch that. It's absolutely well funny. He's done a madness with that. On that, bro, I think LB do a good job. But I say that about Lewis everywhere, isn't it? Lewis is a good front man.
Yes, Doper coming in with the 5 says, all I'm saying is Sane over Leao. Run it back.
Imagine. I don't see it ever happening.
Yeah, I don't think so. My main issue is that if you sell Sterling, I need a right-sided, right-footed player, and Leroy Sane isn't that. So.
He can play on the right, but he obviously is left-footed.
Yeah, he's not right-footed. That's what I need. That's what I want.
Because you want right side, right-footed pace to whip it in.
That's what I want. I just want the ball being whipped in. No cutback. I'm done with this BA thing. You know, a BA, cutting inside. I don't want to see none of this. Or Circle X or whatever it is on the other console. I don't want to see this anymore. You know what I mean? I want to see man going like this, bro. Walking down, and going, sprinting, boom, cutting inside, boom, cutting inside. Boom. I don't want to see this, bro. I don't want to see this.
The guy doesn't want to see Mahrez.
I don't want to see it anymore.
Guy don't want to see Mahrez no more, innit? He's like, I don't want no fake shot.
I don't want. It's not that. It's just that, like, if we're going to go down this route of going a bit faster on the attacks, I don't want to see. I just want a ball whipped in like Sterling did for the Gundogan first. Just take your man on, ball in the box.
It makes sense now that Haaland's in the team as well.
Telling you, I get Jesus Navas straight back in this side. I'll take him, mate. I don't care.
He does bits him, doesn't he?
Let me see what he's doing.
Is it Seville? He's the captain, I think.
Right, he's 36 years old, but we move on that. Don't worry about that. Yeah, he played 123 games for us, bro. 4 goals, what a return.
Nah, I guarantee there's like 0% accuracy on them crosses. Do you remember his crosses? They were arse. Yeah, I remember they were so bad.
The crosses weren't good, bro. He's captain. So he's a leader.
Hey, didn't he play under Pep as well? Right wing back?
I don't know.
I think he might have played under Pep, Jesus Navas. When Pep first came, I'm sure Pep was like, yeah, let's just turn him into right back because you can't.
Oh, yeah, he's a right back now, isn't it? But still, we'll run with that. We might be playing 5 at the back anyway, so he could be the perfect option. Jesus Navas, Red Montana season, right wing back is the best option we could possibly get.
Forget this Sane shit, innit? Let's just, let's run the Navas back.
Yeah, that's a madness. Right, final talking points then, guys. I want to go over some of the stuff regarding the academy. We've already had some messages in the chat. People speak about the academy and that, and obviously it's probably I've said this before, but it's probably one thing that has sort of disappointed me a little bit over the last few years is the lack of sort of progression for the academy players. We are seeing it a little bit more now with Cole Palmer and McAtee, but Liam Delap, he's been robbed of a career at City, in my opinion, and I don't think he'll have a future at the football club. But you still got Cole Palmer there, who I think will get a few minutes this year. I think he'll, hopefully have a bit of a breakthrough year. McAtee, I worry for McAtee. I don't think he's going to be able to get the opportunities this season, just because of how stacked we are, unless players move on. By the way, when I say this is all based on players staying at the football club. If obviously players move, there'll be more spaces. He might get more opportunities.
Yeah.
So he might find it a little bit more difficult this year. And then obviously you've got other players in the academy who are great. You've got obviously Rico Lewis, who we speak about a lot, right back situation. He might get some minutes this year, especially if we don't sign a right back. You've got Kabore, who's not been in the academy, but he's obviously been out on loan. He's still a young player. I think he sort of falls into that bracket as well still. And then you've got a lot of other players in the academy who are fantastic and coming through. So I think that, and I've said this for many years, but I think that once we win the Champions League, I think that they'll be more happy to push academy players in. I have that opinion. I don't know, that might not be right, but that's my view on it.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it, that the club are just going, nah, and then I ham it out, and then maybe once we actually won that Champions League, then they go, right, okay, let's switch the focus a bit of the club more towards the academy side, because in Khaldoon's interview, he actually said that from the under-23s to the under-9s, there's over 200 players in them brackets. 85% of them are local people, which is mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having just local lads like that, 85% of them is absolutely crazy. That to know that there's so many talents coming through. I mean, it's really good. I like this kind of return that we're kind of seeing on the investment that we've done in our academy. Obviously, it has been a slow burn. I know the CFG, as its whole thing, does make money. I mean, we sell a lot of these players on. But it's nice when you see players like Phil Foden getting through to a team. Cole Palmer, I really think he'll have a big season next season, pending injuries and that. And I think he's the next one in line. And then obviously you've got players behind him like James McAtee. Whether or not it's a balancing act really of what the club do with them, like whether they end up going on like loan to other players, like other places, like with company taking over at Burnley, apparently going to be a thing. You could see things there happening. I mean, you could see like he might go, he might go, right, Taylor Alberellis, I want him straight away. I know him. I've worked with him before. I want Taylor Alberellis. He's like McAtee. He's done decent. Let's get him in here, or maybe a Premier League side will go for McAtee. We know Southampton were circling around Delap and McAtee, so it's what the club do in it. Because if they don't think, it's basically whether they think they're going to get time in the first team, or they just want them to be training with these players. Do you know what I mean? With the big dogs that we have at the football club, because I think it's very clear at the moment for James McAtee, he's too good for Premier League 2. So I feel like he's the one in a weird position.
Well, David sort of mentions this in the chat there. He says the jump from the under-23s to this world-class team is too big. Takes a special player to make their claim on the team. Palmer will integrate this season, but I see Delap McAtee farmed off after a few appearances. Well, this has been a long-standing issue with Premier League 2. It's shite. It's shit. I'm sorry, it's rubbish. The competition in Premier League 2 is just a joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't have the answers in it. You know what I mean? I don't have the answers. But surely these guys who are at the top of the game earning millions of pounds need to come up, in my view, with something better than Premier League 2. And I don't have the answer to it. But you cannot have this guy slamming in Premier League 2, scoring hat-tricks from midfield week in, week out, to, even if he drops into like League 1, League 2 or the Championship, it's a completely different ball game. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know whether they can get a solution. I think they need to try and find one, because I think it's hindering their progress. I don't know what to do. I've said this for some time. But especially with these 5 substitute rule, 1 or 2 of them subs should be...
It should be mandatory that 2 are academy players. It should, or at least 1. There should be a mandatory academy player spot. So like 1 of them subs has to be. Do you know what I mean? Basically, you have 4 first teamers, and then 1 outfield player that can be... 1 academy player that can be made. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that would force a lot of teams to push their academy more.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of mad. James McAtee is a very, very special player. Very special player. I went to watch City versus Rotherham last season in the Papa John's Trophy or whatever it's called, and we got beat 5-0 off Rotherham. Even so, I thought he was the best player on the pitch by a country mile. And that's what he needs. He needs to be playing against fully grown men. Liam Delap cannot go on playing against these kids. He needs to be tested. You know what I mean? Playing against adults in a proper league. A lot of these players do. You got to remember... City push these players. They push them very hard. You know what I mean? They get them up the age groups. They're playing 16s in under 18s or whatever. They're pushing them in age groups that are way beyond their years. So if they're a good player, if they're a special talent, by the time they get to the EDS and they're playing regular football in the under 23s, for them, they've been playing that against that age group for a couple of years. So as soon as their body grows out and they get a little bit physical, they're ruining these games. You know what I mean? So we need to have a serious look at the academy, in my opinion. Some of these players, you need to be ruthless. You're either good enough or you're not. And if you're not good enough, then see you later. You know what I mean? Because there's no point in just keeping a player. Players like Liam Delap, for example. Liam Delap is someone that... This is like a bit of a frustration of mine. He should have been given a goal last season. By last season, I mean a season gone, not the season. Yeah,
not the season that was just finished.
Yeah, he should have been given a goal.
People that are regular viewers, they know how much we pushed hard for Liam Delap to get game time, but it just didn't happen, innit? And then it made it worse this season because he got injured. He got
a bad injury, so he couldn't go out on loan at the start of the season. Then people were saying, we'll send him out on loan in January, but he'd only just come back, so he needed a couple of months to get back fit because he'd been out for so long. I think it was a back injury, something bad, so it was going to take time. And obviously, you know, so something needs to happen there. I don't think Liam Delap will have a future at City, unfortunately. I really, really wish he would have been given a goal last season. That was one of my pet hates last year.
The thing for me is when... He came. Was it Bournemouth, the game where he came when he scored?
Yeah,
he scored a sick finish.
Yeah,
he just and then you just don't see him again.
Yeah,
so he's just ghosted, isn't it?
That's something that I think the club needs to improve on. You know what I mean? It's all good spending all this money on the CFA and Khaldoon speaking about, 85% of the lads are local. That's all well and good, and I applaud you for that. But it ain't good if these players are not making it into the first team and getting games. And I think, actually, if there's one criticism of Pep that I'd have to make, it's that he's not giving enough of these players game time. When we're 5-0 up against some team, he should be bringing on, in my view, and I know people will say, well, we've got a big squad, we need to rotate. But surely you can give a few minutes to a young lad.
Also in
10 minutes
in the Champions League games where there was a Champions League game. Was it Marseille? Olympique Marseille when what was that guy called? Villas-Boas was the manager. And he just didn't care about the Champions League. He was basically throwing the game. We'd already won it anyway. It was already secure. We'd finished top, I think, and we had a chance to play academy players in that game, and it was just like, nah. I feel like in times, say you finish the group, you top the group, and you got a game to go. Right, you've already topped the group, game to go. Just play some of your academy players.
Yeah,
I think the issue.
That's probably the only thing that
the issue in that is I think you get a lot of money from group games in the Champions League. I think it might be you get more money from winning a group game in the Champions League, something like that, or finish. It might be just the finishing top thing. You get more money in that as you do more than you do for winning the Carabao Cup kind of thing. There's more money in group games in the Champions League, but it'd just be nice to throw some. Do you know what I mean? You can throw some academy players in the team. It'd just be nice to see this. And especially with how stretched our squad's been this season. It would have been nice this year to, like I say, when we're battering a team, throw one of these players on, but it's just something we're never seeing it. And it's always the Pep never makes
And
subs.
actually, I think the pressure will get even worse next year because now there's 5 subs. In those games where we are 5-0 up, 4-0 up with 15 minutes to go, I think that there might be even more pressure put on Pep Guardiola and the club to get some of these lads minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think there's the 5 subs thing. As much as Pep kind of cried for it, he'll hate it because it'll be more added pressure. He'll get bare questions now.
Yeah.
Pep doesn't like changing the team when the team's going well. And now he's got 5 subs. If the game doesn't go right for him, then bro, you get cooked in the press conferences for that. They'll be like, you asked for 5 subs, we'll give you 5 subs, and you're still not making any subs.
M. Doper with the 5. Yes. Why don't City send their academy players to the MLS? The New York City FC won the league last season. Don't know, bro. Good question.
That is a good question, actually.
Not sure. Chase DeBet with a 5 says possible to see a 2 at the front in Delap and Alvarez for Carabao and FA to rest Haaland. I don't see it, bro. I think Delap will probably leave this summer.
I think Delap will go loan somewhere, a club, maybe Premier League club, but I think he'll go on loan somewhere. Personally,
the thing is, Chase, Delap 2 seasons ago, if you class the season just gone as we were at the end of the season, so two seasons ago was slamming and he should have been given a go and he wasn't. Okay, so you've got to ask a question of why wasn't he given a go? Clearly, Pep didn't trust him or doesn't like the way he trains or don't like his attitude or something. There must be a reason that Pep didn't put him in for a game just to see what he did, right? Last season was a bit difficult for him because he was injured a lot of the season. He was on the bench in a few games. Still didn't come on in games where we really could have done with a striker. So again, there's something that clearly Pep's just don't, even when, the game's screaming out for you, I just don't get it. So I don't see why, just because now we've got Haaland and Alvarez, he would suddenly just get games, even if it's just in the Carabao Cup. I think Delap, I'd be very surprised if Delap's still at the football club next season.
I'd be surprised because he's not going to bide his time in Premier League 2. Do you know what I mean? The guy's ready to make a step up.
But if we sell him, we should get some decent cash. We're looking for at least 12, 13 million.
I don't think we'll sell him. I think we'll loan him out.
Yeah, I mean, we could loan him out with a view to obviously selling him if he smashes it for a better price, which obviously is an option depending on his contract situation. But yeah, I don't think he'll be at the football club next season. Whether that be loan or sell, don't know. I just think, I'll be very surprised if he's at the club. Unfortunately, he probably should have been given it all. But yeah, that's the academy thing. That's probably the only thing that, and I think Khaldoon accepts it to some degree, because he did say, look, it takes a long time. And it does take a long time, but it has been a decade. You know what I mean? So
the thing is, right, it takes a long time for the talents to start coming through. But now the talents are starting to come through. They're starting to show. But we're not giving them the game time in our team. And I get there is a big difference. There is a big gap kind of thing. I think the academy at City is probably one of the most frustrating things for me as a fan, because I feel like it's going a little bit to waste at times. Some players that I feel like Delap is a prime example. I feel like it's he might not make it, innit? Do you know what I mean? It might not be a thing. I personally think he will. I think he'll be sick. However, you don't know, innit? You don't know until you try it. And the fact that we didn't have a striker for 2 years, bro. We have a striker over 2 years. Yeah. We have a striker who's absolutely slamming.
Well, a big one for me would be Rico Lewis, right? Rico Lewis plays right back for City in the academy, yeah? Let me see how old he is, because I think he's still pretty young. He's 17, right? So he's still young. However, when I've seen this guy play, he slams. Everyone loves him on socials. Everyone who watches academy football says he's mint. We have an issue at right back, being that Kyle Walker is technically our own official right back, if you class Cancelo as a left back, and he's 31, 32, something like that. Surely, right, this season, there'll be a game where we're 3-4, 5-0 up or something like that. Kyle Walker's getting on a little bit. Surely you can take Kyle Walker off for 15 minutes when you're 4 or 5-0 up and give Rico Lewis some minutes and see how he gets on. That, for me, is an easy decision. And if Rico Lewis doesn't perform, he moves on and we go on to someone else. Or Kabore, by the way. You can say whoever you want. But right back, it's difficult for McAtee to get minutes, and this is one of the reasons why I think McAtee should be loaned out, is because I don't see how he's going to get that many minutes because of how stacked we are. At right back, we're not that stacked, and I do think we have the availability to give right backs a go. So for me, I'd be looking at someone in the right back, whether it be Kabore or Rico Lewis or Egan, someone like that, to get some minutes on that right-hand side. It doesn't have to be in a big game. It can be a Carabao Cup when you're 4-0 up. It's about giving them the experience and just seeing how they get on in the first team environment.
I feel like we've gone full circle in it from this morning, because the right back talk this morning, like all our streams have just like collided back together. Like we've gone full circle here. But yeah, it'd be nice if the club go with an academy prospect as the backup right back next season. I think that'd be ideal, that, especially when people are rating Rico Lewis and Kabore and stuff, rating them so highly. It'd be nice to see if they can actually make it in this side.
David, again, I know, David, you must be big on the academy, bro, but you say, I don't think the City Academy is ever going to be what fans want it to be. It's a money-making machine.
It is a money-making machine.
Just a factory for development and selling players to an EFL team for profit. It's sad, but it works. It does, and I agree with you, and it does help fund our big transfers, but there are also players there that could be sick, and that could make it for Man City. And what's the frustrating bit is that we're not even trying, David. It's not like we've tried him and they go, he didn't do well, so we're going to sell him to an EFL club and get some money out of it, buzzing, and everyone's like, yeah, didn't really do it. He didn't impress no one. We're not even trying him, man. When we're 5-0 up, that's the only frustration. And I think I said this yesterday, but I think that across the country, I do think that a lot of fans are wanting to see more academy players being given a go, and we're not being given that opportunity right now. And I think it's going to get to the point where the FA or the Premier League, whoever makes these rules, are going to have to do something to try and encourage clubs to play these academy players. And you know what? The 5 subs rule would have been the easiest one to possibly do. Your 5th sub, if you make 5 subs, one of them has to be an academy player. One of them has to be under 21 years old. Something like that. And no one's going to be going sick because they've still got that extra sub. The managers who were crying for the 5 subs are still going to be relatively happy because they still have the 4th sub, so they still have that one extra sub. And if you want to make the 5th sub, you can make the 5th sub. It's just got to be academy player.
I like that. I think that's a good rule.
AB, yes, but the 179, he needs to do a Tammy Abraham. I think you're on about Delap. Maybe, bro. Maybe. I think Liam Delap's a very good player and he has a bright future, so maybe he has to go abroad. I don't know. Obviously, Tammy Abraham's a great player as well, and he's smashed it, hasn't he?
Smashed it, hasn't he?
And again, it just shows you, you know what I mean? Should they have kept him over Lukaku? They went and sold Tammy Abraham for, 30 mil? Bought Lukaku in for 100 mil? You're looking back at him thinking, idiots. Should have kept Tammy Abraham. So, you know, sometimes the big money transfers are not always the way forward, and the option and the solution that you're looking for can sometimes be staring at you in the face on a daily basis. So that was a Khaldoon review for the part 1, part 2. I guess there'll be more parts because it kind of ended abruptly.
It literally just ended like mid-conversation.
Yes.
So there will be more parts.
We'll do another review, man.
Okay, well, with the way that they're going, there'll be another part tomorrow, more than likely, probably about 5 o'clock again. I know it was 4 o'clock yesterday. Today was 5 o'clock. So there's no fixed time on this, but obviously part 3 will be tomorrow night. We'll do a maybe. It depends if part 3 will be the last one.
Yeah.
Could be a part 4. I'm pretty sure last season was 4 parts. So it's interesting. So we'll have to wait and see. How many parts there are to this. I do think it'll be.
Yeah. Well, anyway, make sure you subscribe to it with the notification bell turned on, and then you'll know.
You'll see. I see loads of people as well who message us in it and tweet us saying, "Are you going live, bro?" Some people sometimes tweet us saying you're going live when we're live.
Yeah, because I've got notification bells.
So notifications on, and you'll know, innit? Like, sometimes we'll have a stream scheduled and people message us and go, "Why are you not doing a live stream tonight?" And it's like, we've got it scheduled. It's just look on YouTube, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Right, look, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you've not watched the Khaldoon interview, then I don't really know why you was there, innit? But go check it out. It's on City's YouTube channel. It's very, very good. He speaks very, very well. You can learn a lot about how they operate as a football club with some of the answers that he gives to Graham's questions. So go check it out. It's sick. Please make sure you drop a like on this stream. We're currently on 423. Let's see if we can get to 450 by the end. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. We'll be back tomorrow for some more City content, some City news, and we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit, guys.
See you in a bit.